Hello. It has been such a long time since I've posted a video. Well, it's been, I think the end of January was when I last posted. And then I just kind of disappeared. So I'm just gonna fill you in on what's been going on in life. Okay, I am actually not at home right now. If you can tell by the setup, I'm in a hotel room. It is very early, 3:50 a.m. and we are at the airport. Well, we're waiting for a shuttle at the airport. Michael is going on a business trip. Wait, where are you?
Yeah.
And I'm tagging along. We actually left the house like 30 minutes later than we were supposed to, but obviously there's no traffic at like 2 in the morning, so yeah, hopefully the shuttle gets here soon and we make it.
Here it is.
Oh, sweet, here it comes. I am filming this from a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was like, hey, I have never been to Georgia, so I'm gonna tag along. First off, I'm actually gonna tell you why I stopped posting, and I did mention it on my community tab. One, I just felt like I wasn't being very creative anymore. Like, I just didn't feel like I had any creative ideas, and then the process of like creating videos and filming and everything, it just, I don't know, I was getting kind of, tired of it maybe, like not interacting with you. I love the interacting with you part. I hit a creative wall is probably the best way that I can say it. And the second reason is because I felt like I was really spending way too much time on social media, and that's obviously my own choice. But it's sort of like once you get in the groove of posting all the time, I kind of felt like I put like my regular life on the back burner and I was doing a lot of online stuff, and I felt like my life was getting really unbalanced. I just decided that I needed to take a break. I've really enjoyed taking the break. Am I going to come back and make regular videos? Honestly, probably not. But overall, I kind of like not being on social media so much. It actually feels really good. My first two impressions of Atlanta are, it is hot here. I was expecting it to be hot, and obviously you can tell I'm like sweating right now, even though we've had AC going in our room, but I had to turn it off because it's way too loud. It's actually not quite as hot as I thought it was going to be when we were checking the temperature before we left. It said it was going to be 100 like 3 days in a row, and it isn't. It's only been 95. So I'm like, not so bad. I can handle that. Look at what we get. A thunderstorm. Not using the pool. This place is really nice though. And the second thing is, I feel like people here are very friendly. I don't know if I was expecting people not to be friendly. Like, we went to Florida in May, and I kind of felt like people weren't as friendly as I thought they were going to be. Everyone we've met here so far is incredibly friendly. And as a Canadian, and we're kind of known for being friendly and nice to people, I really noticed how kind people are here. When we were at the Atlanta airport, I had to go use the bathroom, and there was a lady that was working cleaning the bathrooms, and she's like welcoming me into the bathroom. The bathroom was so clean, probably the cleanest airport bathroom I have ever seen. It smelled good. It was a really nicely taken care of bathroom. And then as I washed my hands and I was leaving, she's like telling me, oh, I hope you have a wonderful day, and she's just like full of smiles and brightness, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, it's exciting when people are happy about what they do for work, or they take pride in what they do for work. I have heard that Georgia has the best peaches. So far, I haven't tried one, but I did go get one today. There was only a few, so I only took one. In the hotel lobby, they had some peaches. So I'm excited to try a Georgia peach. I hope it's good. I've noticed the prices of food are definitely less. Food portions here are so much bigger than what you get in Canada. I had this vegetarian quesadilla, and the lady brings it to me, and then she looks at me and she says to me, now dear, you let me know if you need a takeout bag. And I was like laughing inside my head because I knew I wasn't going to be able to eat the whole portion. And she's probably looking at me being like, yeah, this girl's not going to eat all of this. So I ate half my meal. So then I had another half of the meal today for lunch, which is perfect because it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. While we were traveling here, it made me think, how on earth do people travel for work all the time? It's really tiring. Like, we left our house at 2:30 a.m. to drive to the airport, get on the plane, and then we had a layover, which was only 2 hours, which wasn't that long actually, because you can't find direct flights from where we live to here. And you think like 2 hours, oh, that's like plenty of time. We'll have lots of time to catch our next flight. We almost missed our flight. Anyway, it all worked out fine. But yeah, I just always wonder, like, how do people travel for work? I feel like it's tiring. Like, from the time we left our house in Canada to the hotel here, it took 14.5 hours. Oh my goodness, the airport is massive. It is like a city. I did not know it was so big. Actually, no, I did know it was big, but I think until you're like in the airport trying to navigate your way around to find your luggage and find out where you're supposed to go for your rental car. Okay, I am so glad we got Apple AirTags. It just like gives me peace of mind to know that my luggage is nearby. And if my luggage didn't make it, which all of our luggage did make it, thank goodness, but if it didn't make it, it would be good to know like where it's stuck. I just feel like with all these like modern conveniences, we're so lucky because now I just like go on my little app and I see, oh, where's my luggage? Okay, it's here, perfect. I just have to wait at the carousel and I know my luggage will be coming up. There's nothing worse than waiting at a luggage carousel for your luggage and the belt's like going around and around and you're like, yeah, none of those are my bags. And then the carousel stops and you're like, nice, my bag didn't make it. Now what do I do? That's happened to me so many times, especially when I was in graduate school. Every time I seem to fly home or come back to the US, my luggage went missing. I used to think it was the airline that was always losing my luggage, but now I think it was just the airport, Chicago O'Hare Airport. Not a fan, not a fan. And actually another really good use for my Apple AirTag is I'm going to leave one in my car because I am notorious for forgetting where I parked. The other day I went to Costco and I usually always try and park in the same place. I came out with my car jam-packed with groceries and I'm walking around the parking lot and it's super full. It's like a Christmas time. You know how busy Costco gets? Yeah, the parking lot was like that. And I'm wandering around and I'm realizing I don't know where I parked my car. It's hot. I'm dripping in sweat. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. How do you not know where your car is? And that's happened to me multiple times. So Michael's like, okay, you have an Apple AirTag on your keys. You never lose your keys, but you lose your car all the time. So maybe put it in your car. So that is what I'm going to start doing. But changing topics, I went and got my hair cut actually. So I chopped off a bunch of it. Well, my hairdresser chopped off a bunch of it. So you can't really see, I guess. But so my hair was down to here. And when I went to go see my hairdresser earlier this week, I was just like, okay, can you just like take off a few inches? My hair is still, I guess, considered long, but it feels so short. And I actually really need to wash it because I know this is gross, but I haven't washed my hair since we left on our trip. So we left Monday. I feel like I've had a really busy year this year. So 2 of my nieces are getting married. One already got married. The other one is getting married next month. I feel like we've had like a lot of company just like come over and like hang out. I painted our entire basement because it still had the original house colors in it, which were not very pretty. And I finally decided it is time for an update. Guessing it's probably 1,000 square feet. I've listened to many podcasts, which has been good. And it's nice and cool down there, which is great, but I just find it very tedious. But I said to Michael, like, I know how to paint and I think I'm okay at it. Like, I'm not as good as a professional, obviously, but I feel like I'm decently good at it. So we said like, well, we'll just like save the money and we can do the painting ourselves. So he did help with some of it. Where the stairs go down into the basement, doing the wall all along there took so long. I was like thinking after I did that section, I was like, okay, well, at least that hard section is done. Now there's just like lots of wall space and like the cutting in doesn't take quite as long as like doing all the area around the stairs. So I'm done pretty much all of it. There's like one little section still that I have left to do. So I am glad that that project is almost done. We've actually been working on quite a few house projects this summer. We also rebuilt our side deck. It was a wooden deck, the original wooden deck, and it was looking super messy. So we ripped all that out and we put in a composite deck, which is what we've done on our back deck and then the front as well. Now all of our decks match and the composite lasts forever. It's a bit of an investment, but I feel like it's totally worth it because you don't have to repaint and restain your deck every single year, which is what we have been doing. So that's going to be a time saver. And then we've done a bunch of yard work as well, trying to like kind of make things look nice, I guess, for the summer. And I did a bunch of bark mulch. I always put bark mulch around our plants every year, which we have a lot of plants. And it's been pretty warm where we live. We don't have an automatic watering system for all of our plants, so I've had to like hand water everything. So that's another project that we want to do at some point, is put in an automatic watering system. So up until last year, I've never been stung by a bee. We were at the river with some friends and a bee flew up my shorts and stung me you know where. Oh my goodness, that was like the worst experience of a bee sting. And it was my first bee sting. So yeah, that was very, very unpleasant, but I lived and I'm okay and I'm not allergic to bees. I found that out. But doing yard work the last 2 weeks, I've been stung 2 more times. I'm like, what is going on? And I finally clued in. It was this one area. Oh, that's a Lamborghini. That's a really nice car. Okay, sorry. I was very distracted. It was like this bright yellow and black Lamborghini. It was very nice. Anyway, back to my story of bee stings. I got the 2 bee stings at basically the exact same spot in our yard. And so I was saying to Michael, I'm like, I keep getting stung. So he went out and investigated, and there was a giant bee's nest like right by our gate when we walk into our backyard. So he had to take care of that and get rid of it because they're like, I mean, you know, I like to let bees do their thing, but it was like right where you walk through our gate, and I don't want to get stung anymore. I mean, this isn't really funny, but when we were younger, my older sister always used to be the one that got bee stings all the time, and she would swell up like crazy when she got bee stings. And I was always like, as a kid, I was like, man, I wonder what it feels like to be stung by a bee. And in a really weird way, I kind of wanted to get stung by a bee because I wanted to see what it was like. I don't know why I thought that. Not like it's like on my bucket list, but I just was curious because she's always getting stung and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why don't bees sting me? So I guess as an adult now, I've made up for it. 3 bee stings in 2 years. So I actually don't swell up very much at all, just like a tiny bit. Do you swell up a lot? Because I know some people swell up like crazy when they get stung. I'm curious what you are up to this summer. Let me know if you're taking any trips anywhere, if you are starting any new hobbies, if you're doing house renos, because those always take longer than you think they're going to take, but it is worth it. That's always what I'm telling myself.